Hello, I'm Kenny Leigh of Kenny Leigh and Associates. Our firm exclusively represents men in the area of family law in the entire state of Florida. Today we're going to talk about equitable distribution. I have with us firm director David Merritt. David, can you give us just a very brief summary of how equitable distribution is handled in the state of Florida?
So what the court does is it distributes the marital assets and debts to the parties, and it does so to the best of its ability equitably.
Okay. All right. So let's get to the bottom of that. What are there dates associated with how property is split? In other words, I know I don't have to split something I received in high school. So how is that handled?
Sure, the court defines a marital asset and debt based upon when the parties get married, and normally it ends upon when the petition for dissolution of marriage is filed.
Okay. And of course, as with all videos like this, there are situations that the rules don't apply. There are generalities, and what we're speaking about is generalities. So in most circumstances, marital property is defined as what is acquired from the point of marriage to the point of filing the petition for divorce. And then it's split equitably. Does that 50-50, right? That's the presumption.
Yes, so the parties, one of the people are going to get some assets and debts, the other spouse is going to get some assets and debts, and as long as their net worth comes out equal, that's what the court is seeking.
And there are ways to get unequal distribution, which won't be the subject of this video, but there are ways for that. Now, let me give you some examples, or let me ask you some examples, and you tell us how the court generally would handle things. All right, so I just inherited $1 million during the marriage, and then I filed my petition, having already received the $1 million. I inherited it from my father, let's say. How would that be typically distributed?
Okay, so if you've inherited that after the filing of the petition, it's presumed to be a non-marital asset that's yours. If the inheritance was received during the marriage, it's still presumed to be a non-marital asset unless you commingled it with funds that were marital.
Okay, how could I commingle it?
If you put the check that you received from the estate into a joint bank account.
Okay, so things like that. All right, or if I actually gave it to her.
Yes.
And I can't get it back. And even if you put it in an account that is jointly titled, sometimes there are ways that you can follow that title and make it non-marital, but that's not easy. All right, another example. I had a marital home. I had a house prior to the marriage. Prior to my wife and I getting married, I owned a home. Is that marital or not?
As long as you didn't, after getting married, refinance it and put it in her name or in any way gift it to her, then it's a non-marital asset. It could include a marital component if you paid the mortgage during the marriage or something like that, but the house itself is presumed to be a non-marital asset.
Okay, so basically I would keep the home, but there may be a marital interest in the home that it would have to be decided. And one final example. During the marriage, I give my wife a $10,000 diamond ring. Is that hers to keep? Should we get divorced?
No, if you gave it to her during the marriage, then it's a marital gift that you're entitled to half of it.
Okay, so you'd actually get the half of the value of that ring back. She would probably actually get to keep the property itself, but you would definitely get half the value back. And then one quick one that a lot of people are always curious about, and I'll just say this one, David. If I purchase a car during the marriage and only my name is on the car, that's still marital property. So even if your wife's name is not on the car, if you purchased it with funds that you earned during the marriage, most likely the court will still consider that marital property. So anyway, if you want to learn more about equitable distribution in the state of Florida, please go to our website, divorcemenonly.com. Kenny Leigh and Associates, largest family law firm in the entire state of Florida, exclusively represents men, exclusively practices family law.